of the fans and, quote, without jeopardizing their safety in any way. Now here's Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Tom. After Walker Buehler escaped a bases-loaded, none-out jam in Game 6 of the NLCS, he credited Austin Barnes with getting him through that inning. Well, Barnes is again catching tonight with Will Smith, the DH. Manager Dave Roberts likes not only Barnes' rapport with Buehler, but also his ability to steal strikes with his elite pitch framing skills. Joe?
All right, guys, thank you. We'll give you a look at the lineup for the Dodgers. And you know who's at the top, Mookie Betts. Corey Seager bats second. He's the shortstop. Justin Turner, Max Muncy, Will Smith, the DH, because Austin Barnes is catching. Cody Bellinger, Chris Taylor, Jock Peterson, and then Barnes. And now a guy on the mound who has the heart of a lion when he is pitching. Disposition of a panda when he's off the mound. He is an interesting cat. Deep thinker and ready to go. And first pitch, chopped to third. That's a foul ball. I mean, this guy, we talked to him the other day about what he pours into these postseason starts. He's somebody that when he got the ball in Game 7, John, in the ALCS against Houston, had the entire back staff of the Rays on his mind. The clubhouse guys, the training staff, said that's why he was grunting so loud. He wanted it so badly for all those people to get a chance to go to the World Series.
Yeah, Charlie's been transformed as a veteran who's had influences around him. He's grown up. He's overcome major injuries. Totally different pitcher now.
Misses down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mookie.
If you like spin, you're going to see a lot of it. He throws his curveball 35% of the time on average, no matter who's there. He's going to throw it a lot with runners in scoring position and a lot with 2 strikes.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Down.
He'll mix in a 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball, and a slider. Charlie has that unique arm action and arm delivery slot that makes it very difficult. You'll see when he throws the curveball the reaction the hitters will have at times.
That's a strike as it's pulled back in by Zunino. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Betts didn't like the call. Seager will follow, then Justin Turner. Runs could be at a premium here early with this pitching matchup of Buehler and Morton. Left side. Surrounding it, Adames. Tough play. Great play by Choi on the back end. Absolutely spread out and got the short hop for the out.
I mean, this guy's become amazing if you're going to watch him and you're a fan of the Rays. Choi, not known for his defense, bounced around. I think it's his 16. Look at this pickup with a split. Normally, you don't commit that fast to the split, and he gets it like a catcher or a goalie. Short hop. That is an outstanding first play and play by Choi.
Seager comes up empty. We said it the other night. 97, by the way, from Morton right there. Choi is a big guy, but don't make the mistake that he's not a really athletic player. He's got great feet. He can run. He's quick. There's another fastball at 97, 0-2, and he's obviously very limber.
Yeah, and it's part of the reason why he bounced around, because defense wasn't a strength. Couldn't find a position. He's worked really hard and turned into a solid defender.
Seager takes outside. Corey with 10 career postseason home runs. He and Justin Turner 1 behind the great Duke Snider on the all-time Dodger list for postseason long balls. He's hit 7 this postseason. Almost caught him on the back foot. 2-2. Extra day of rest for these 2 starters here tonight. 2-2 pitch is popped up. Shallow left. Out goes Wendell. In comes Arozarena. 2 out. Home plate umpire is the crew chief, Bill Miller. Marvin Hudson is at first. Jerry Meals at second. Mark Carlson is at third. Laz Diaz is in left field. Todd Tishner is in right. Replay official Adrian Johnson, and sitting this one out, Chris Guccione. He has the plate tomorrow night.
This would be a good matchup for Charlie. What Justin Turner is good at is what Charlie Morton's good at. And Justin Turner can take away the curveball and breaking ball, but it'd be up to Charlie.
Ball's up.
To pick a spot to show him he's not afraid to throw his breaking ball in any count. But look for a lot of fastballs early against Justin Turner.
Ball and a strike. Two hits in this World Series for Turner. Just 11 during the postseason, hitting .216. That's in for a strike. 1-2.
Now what Charlie Morton did right there in the Rays, that was it's called a front door curveball. You throw it at the right-hander's hip. He thinks it's a ball. Throw it right at his hip. That's a ball. And then the last second catches the strike zone. That is dirty.
Here's one shot into left. Back at the wall. It is gone. Justin Turner has put the Dodgers on top in Game 3. The roof is closed here in Arlington, but that ball carried out to left at 397.
Yeah, after that front door breaking ball, Charlie Morton went with the fastball and it was up. And this is a line drive that was smoked by Justin Turner. Probably over 100 miles an hour exit velocity. And the bench, of course, getting on the board first. That's been an important statistic for both these teams on scoring first.
Well, ball's up.
Muncy takes a ball.
The Dodgers on the year on the road. They are technically on the road. They're the road team. Scored first in over 66% of their games on the road, which of course was the best in baseball.
4 outfielder alignment for the Rays with Muncy up. Brandon Lau is in straight right field. Everybody is shifted over, and the infield is playing Muncy to pull. A lot of room up the middle. Here's a 1-1. Breaking ball, a good one. Strike 2. Now they shift even further around to the right. There's a lot of open space out there that I'm looking at.
Ball's inside.
2-2.
Are we going to have our first ever 4th outfielder to catch a fly ball? That's my biggest question for this series.
Here's one up the middle off Morton's leg, and that's an easy infield hit. Nobody over there to field it, and Muncy is on with 2 out here in the first.
Yeah, anything on the ground, well, on the other side of the mound would have been an easy hit for Muncy, and Charlie couldn't get the big old frame he's got to get that glove down in time. And now Will Smith is going to have to hit a fastball off of Charlie Morton. I don't think he's going to be, unless it's a mistake breaking ball. This is where Charlie's strength and Will's weakness come into play.
Ties him up a bit, and Smith, who is the DH, swings through it. Strike 1.
That was a slider. Now the last 2 sliders for Charlie have backed up. Going to have to get that to turn the corner.
Popping fastball for strike 2. So by going deep, Justin Turner just tied Duke Snider. Again, more opportunities these days for players with more postseason games. 11 career postseason home runs. The strikeout ends the inning. The Dodgers have hit 6 home runs in this World Series already by 6 different players. And Justin Turner adds adds his name to the list, makes Dodger fans happy as they jump on top in Game 3. This year, most by any Dodger team in the postseason, had 23. Back when they fell one game short in 2017. As we look at the Rays lineup, Austin Meadows leads it off. Brandon Lau, Randy Arozarena. G-Man Choi has made a good defensive play. Manuel Margot, Joey Wendell, Adames, Kiermaier, Zunino. Against the right-hander Walker Buehler.
Well, something the Rays are really going to be challenged. Leadoff batters do not hit Buehler. And so in a game like tonight, if you can get any leadoff batters on base, that is a bonus. But it's hard to string hits against Walker Buehler, hitting under 100 on leadoff hitters.
1-0 pitch is fouled back. When we talked to Kevin Cash, the manager of the Rays, he said one thing we have to make Buehler do is get the ball down. The pitch that starts as a high strike, he said, sometimes ends up around your neck.
Yeah, he has an uncanny ability to backspin his four seam, which gives an illusion that it rises.
Breaking ball is chopped to first, and Muncy to the bag. 1 out. Austin Meadows now 1 for 6 in this World Series, and we'll look at the defense for the Dodgers. Peterson in left, Bellinger in center, Betts in right. Around the infield, Turner, Seager, Taylor, Muncy. The catcher is Austin Barnes, and Buehler on the mound.
Well, Brandon Lau got it going a little bit. Loves the first pitch. High success on first pitches this year.
It's outside.
97 from Buehler, ball 1. Kevin Cash said the beauty of what Lau did with his first 2 opposite field home runs of the entire year, regular and post, was go with a pitch. Pitchers have been taking advantage of him, trying to take that outside delivery and hit it out of the park, and he's just rolling it over to the right side. 2 nights ago he went the other way and he hit 2 balls out.
Yeah, and what that does for a pitcher, if you know the hitter's doing that, that brings in your breaking stuff, your secondary pitches. You're going to jam him inside. He's going to swing over the top, because if he's wanting to pull and he's willing to pull outside fastballs, he's aggressive in, and he's going to swing over the top of breaking balls. Let's see if Buehler, when he gets 2 strikes, can expose that.
Wow. Buehler, 6'2", 185. He told us that he's put on about 10 pounds, so maybe a little thicker than how he's listed, but he uses every ounce he's got to get behind these pitches. Just filthy. Perfect pitch over the outside corner, and that breaking ball was tight and sharp, and his first strikeout.
Yeah, one of the few young modern pitchers that still has the classic delivery. I'm talking step back, hands over, hands break. A lot of people are going to that side straddle kind of pitch out of the stretch, but he has a classic power delivery, and he goes downhill about as good as anybody for his size.
Here's Arozarena. Takes a fastball for a strike. They've pounded Arozarena in. They've thrown him some off-speed pitches, and so far he's 1 for 6. He has drawn 3 walks. Strike 2.
And you can see what the Rays' challenge is going to be. If Walker Buehler, or any pitcher for that matter, gets in a rhythm, gets the ball, gets it and throws it, and has quick results, you're in for a long night.
Inning is over, and Walker Buehler made that look easy. Our Indeed player resume we focus on. Cody Bellinger, NLCS Game 7, 7th inning, go-ahead home run. The big celebration with Kike Hernandez, and his arm popped out. Shoulder pain. But then in Game 1, he went deep, proving to the world that he's healthy, and they changed their celebration. Just a light, nice little foot tap. There will be no foot tapping now because Bellinger is out number 1 as he takes a first pitch, flies to left. Arozarena has it. And Cody looking up at the scoreboard here and the replay of that, as he is now 1 for 8 in in the World Series. That one, the home run we just showed you.
Yeah, well, just so you know, Joe, I am tracking how many steps Brandon Lau is going to take tonight. Okay, he just came from right field. He's playing the 4th outfielder. He will be the most active player on the Rays tonight.
Yeah, I mean, between being where he is now, being on the other side of the bag on the infield or out in the outfield.
That's outside.
Defensively, all over the place. He's like a safety that plays deeper, comes down and plays in the box. Chris Taylor took ball 1, 3 out of 7 in the World Series. Takes a strike. Taylor went deep with a 2-run shot in the 5th inning of Game 2.
Well, Charlie Morton hadn't given up a home run in 5 games, his last 5 games, and Justin Turner, of course, broke that streak. And he hasn't given up more than a run this year in the postseason. So already at his high water mark.
Here's a 2-1 pitch and a late swing and a foul right side. Yeah, the number's 3-0 for Morton this postseason. 1 earned run, 15 2/3. The ERA is basically half a run. And he struck out 17, walked 4 coming in.
Yes.
He went around, and with the ball getting away, Zunino has to throw him out. Made a pretty good play. 2 out. That ball bounced back to Zunino to give him a chance to get Taylor. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Ford. Built Ford proud. By Cricket Wireless. Smile, you're on Cricket. And by Steal a Base, Steal a Taco, only at Taco Bell. Here's Jock Peterson, the number 8 hitter.
One thing to watch for tonight's game, and both pitchers are really efficient early in being able to make their pitches, but the Dodgers, when they get 5 pitches or more in an at bat, they are the best in baseball on batting average, hitting well over 410. And so Charlie Morton knows this team very well and knows that getting ahead of them is going to be vital, because they can make a pitcher extend an at bat better than anybody.
That is Lau to his right. And that is the end of the top of the 2nd. A 1-2-3 frame for the veteran Charlie Morton, a 36-year-old. 1-0 LA. Answer 6 questions about tonight's matchup between the Dodgers and Rays, and you can win 200. Make it 25 grand. I'm not going to give away more of Bradshaw or Fox's money. It's super easy and free to play, so download the Fox Bet Super 6 app. There's still time to get your picks in for tonight's game. 25 grand. You could win it.
Here's the scenarios used to make me nervous as a starting pitcher. Choi hasn't swung at the first pitch in a long time, and you would think it'd be an easy first pitch strike for Buehler, and it was. But at some point, the hitter's got to change that, right? If this is too long of a streak, you're basically giving a pitcher who can control the fastball. You're starting every at bat 0-1.
Yeah, that fastball, by the way, one of the most effective pitches in baseball for any pitcher. Strike 2. Opponents hitting 198 off the fastball of Walker Buehler since the start of 2018. That is number 2 on the list to Garrett Cole. Opponents hitting 191 against his fastball. See the shift. Play Choi to pull on the infield. Play him to hit it the other way in the outfield.
1-2.
Came into this postseason talking about the blisters on the fingers on the right hand of Walker Buehler. That seems to have dissipated as the Dodgers have gotten control of that issue. Here's a 1-2.
Well, one thing that also, you know, you're dealing at this time of the year, I'd say the baseballs are a little bit different. Typically when you get in the postseason, the pitcher who has the ball in his hand his whole career can tell you if it's oblong, if it's tight, if it's small, or if the seams are big. And sometimes the seams are really big when you get to the postseason. And so, to your point, if his blister is definitely doing better for him to be as effective as he is in the postseason.
Here's a 1-2. That just slides into the strike zone at 97. Well, that ball just seems to explode.
Well, that's the difference. That's why I don't get so enamored with velocity, because the ball comes out of the hand of pitchers differently based on their release point. You know, a little bit of Verlander kind of mixed in when you think about how the ball comes out as a four-seam fastball versus, let's say, Tyler Glasnow, who throws 100. But his sinking action is going to give the appearance that it may not always be 100. This is a four-seam fastball that explodes because of the spin. We talk about spin all the time. And it just gives the illusion to the hitter that it's hopping. It's like it's got an extra gear when it crosses home plate, as opposed to others who sink and move, and then the barrel of the bat can find the ball.
Strike one on Manuel Margot. Now strike two. Boy, that's a big swing on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, and that's why when you're a pitcher like Buehler and you see the lineup of the Rays, you know that if you execute, your strengths are going to be really, really hard for the Rays. They're going to bank on you, the pitcher, making a mistake. But there hasn't been many so far. And Walker Buehler is, how should we say, playing catch with the catcher.
I mean, I know that this postseason, because of the smaller crowd here in Arlington and the technology with our microphones, that it sounds like a guy's throwing about 130, but talk about making a catcher's mitt pop. That is 4 consecutive strikeouts for Buehler, and these guys are just trying to catch up. Strike one on Joey Wendell.
The other thing that Buehler does, he's got a really good, you call it extension from the rubber. It's where he lands and where he releases the ball for a shorter guy. It's not a short delivery. It's an actually pretty long delivery when he gets his leg up, and then he gets downhill. So that's going to give perception as well.
I mean, you can just see Wendell's like up on his toes, almost getting ready to start his swing midway through the windup of Buehler. In the count 0-2, he could strike out 5 straight.
Now Buehler can do whatever he wants. He could set him up for the rest of the game, or he could go with the kill pitch, which should be the curveball to Wendell. And with his fastball the way it is, he may wait for that curveball in a much more crucial situation if it need be.
That is well hit into left field, but not carrying as Peterson goes to ground it. 22 pitches. 6 up, 6 down. Buehler's already got him exhaling and frustrated. 1-0 LA after 2, game 3. And by Indeed, upload your resume today. Roof is closed at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. 1-0 Dodgers on a home run by Justin Turner in the first inning. Number 9 man Austin Barnes takes a strike from Charlie Morton. Game 2 starter Blake Snell kind enough to join us from the dugout. Blake, you got to feel really, really good about how you worked here 2 nights ago.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about it. You know, I want to go deeper. I got to clean up the 5th inning there. But yeah, overall I feel good. We got the win, and right now that's all that matters.
Yeah, you came out 1 out shy of being eligible for the win as the count's 1-1, and now
Yes, he did.
strike 2. Your manager Kevin Cash said that the Rays players have to have a short memory and thick skin if they're going to play.
That's
because
true.
You look over your shoulder, man, somebody else is coming in.
Yeah, I mean, at least we got a bullpen that can lock it down. So if you're going to look at the bright side of that, yeah, we got a really good bullpen, and Cash has been right like pretty much all season. So can't get mad at him. Just got to pitch better.
You know, as we look at the guy on the mound now, Charlie Morton, he is such a deep thinker and a guy that I know has passed a lot of postseason experiences on to you guys. And what have you learned from Charlie Morton?
You know, just not to make, you know, he's real big on embrace the moment, take it all in, and he pitches off of that emotion. You can see, I mean, he's locked in. He's a great guy, but I just think he embraces these moments so well. And with me, I mean, I've just taken in, soaking it in, and trying to make it my moment as much as it is everyone else's moment that's here.
Yeah, hey, and as we wind down here, we've talked to some pitchers that, as they've gotten used to this stadium, and in particular this mound, they say that it is a really good pitching mound. They're not all created equally, and the pitchers we've talked to say that it's got a nice drop off, it's steep, it's got a good feel. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I like it. Where I put my left foot to drive off of, it's kind of inconsistent there, but the slope is perfect. It's a lot more downhill than I'm used to, which is really good for me, so I like that. But I would definitely say it's a really good mound.
All right, at the end of this season, this postseason 2020, with the pandemic and all that you guys have been through, I hope you get to enjoy all this. Are you having fun in the World Series?
I think it's almost impossible not to have fun. This has been amazing, so it'll be a lot better if we can win this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you did your part the other night, so thanks for the time, and keep it rolling.
Yep, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
That is Blake Snell, Cy Young Award winner in 2018, and just a dynamic left-hander, as he showed here in Game 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Mookie Betts. And now 2 balls and 3 strikes on Mookie Betts. That's strikeout number 4 for Charlie Morton as they start to pile up here.
Yeah, rhythm. Both guys are in good rhythm. One mistake by Charlie Morton. There's that angle of the curveball that I was talking about. It's so difficult. The way that it doesn't really even have a hump to it, and they both land in the exact same spot. And Charlie Morton is taller than Walker Buehler, so it talks about the stride length and the arm angle much different for Charlie.
Seager takes a ball. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times on the slider, when the hand gets down there, you're going to deliver a flat slider, but it seems to work for Morton.
Well, you're always going to have your hands on top no matter what angle you deliver, and even though you're on the side, see, that spin is sharp, and it's a different break than hitters are used to. And we're going to be able to show you in this game all the different arm angles that the Rays have and how they complement each other and what they're trying to do to create an edge against hitting today.
That skips in, and Seager was hit. Hit by the pitch to put Seager at first for Turner, who homered in the first.
He just spikes this one, and literally what it means is you just throw it, you know, you didn't get it high enough in the plate and you pull it. But yeah, to your point, to stay on top, even though the arm angle is more 3/4 to low 3/4, is the key to any pitch, especially the angle at which Charlie throws from. Look, he went from Pittsburgh, where they were having him really sink the ball and get the ball on the ground. Of course, he was with Atlanta. And then in Houston, he went to that next level with the 4-seam fastball and the breaking ball.
And as Turner takes a strike, it's a consistent message for veteran pitchers that go to Houston.
Yeah.
It's the case with Verlander. I mean, he took it to the next level, and that's what Morton has done since being an Astro. Went to Houston in 2017, and as we've said, he was the Game 7 winner with 4 innings of relief, and he retired the last 11 hitters he faced on the road in a 5-1 ball game.
That's why it's so important to merge information with what you're really gifted at and good at, and merge them together, and you're going to make a monster pitcher. But if you try to make everybody pitch the same way or pitch to the information, they may not be good at that angle or that 4-seam fastball or the 2-seam. And I think that's the beauty of what Charlie Morton has learned in time. I mean, this guy almost gave up baseball, and he came back for this 1-year deal and putting the Rays in a good position. And who knows what the future for Charlie, if he continues to play or not.
Well, the Rays have a club option for him next year, and he's not 100% sure that he's going to play. Here's a pop-up, right side, foul ball, and out of play. You know, I keep talking about him being a deep thinker. He's just really enjoyable to talk to. And he said, I just don't know that I want to go out after a year with a 60-game regular season and fans in the stands with masks on their faces, he wants to get the full feel of what being a big leaguer is all about. Eric Neander is the GM for this team. And it's the club's option, but ultimately it's Morton's option. If he doesn't want to play, he's not going to play. He lives in Bradenton right there, and if he's had enough, he's had enough. I think if things are back to pretty much normal next season,
yeah, for sure,
he'll be back as a Tampa Bay Ray. One-two pitch.
No.
2-2.
2-2.
That's why you're seeing the Rays and what they do so special. They take players in other organizations whose system asked them to do X, Y, Z. They didn't flourish. The Rays identify it. They say we can maximize what we want you to do in our system, and that's why they're so good.
We flash back. And there's the final out. Seager grounding to the right side, and Charlie Morton with his 4 innings of relief got credit for the win. And there he is holding the Commissioner's Trophy. Big smile on his face. He has been to the mountaintop. As the count is 2-2, and Turner's got another hit. That ball is down the line. Seager is digging for third, and they are going to hold him there on a double by Turner. Second and third, 2 out.
See, and that's the byproduct again of Turner just having, and not saying that he's feeling totally comfortable against Charlie Morton, but he's so good at what Charlie Morton's success is. And so Charlie's trying to figure out a way to put him away, but that breaking ball that Turner is so good at, he stays in this time and gets a double down the line. And what the Dodgers have done all postseason is made life miserable for clean innings. 2-out runs all over the place, runners in scoring position, success. And I will say, Charlie knows this, but be careful on the first pitch to Max Muncy with a runner in scoring position.
Second and third with 2 out.
Yes, he did.
And he delivered a good pitch, and Muncy couldn't hold up. I think the interesting part with the Dodgers is if you go back, and I still have that score sheet in my book here from Game 7 that Morton pitched against LA. He faced Jock Peterson, Austin Barnes, Chris Taylor, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger. Any of those names sound familiar?
Yeah.
Same group.
No, he didn't.
Same pitch.
And he swing.
No swing, and it's a 1-1 count.
Two great pitches. First one he got him to swing, second one held up, but that's how you expose a really talented hitter who's having a tough year average wise. Muncy
Inside. 2-1.
Just pounding him in and down, and the count 2-1. Good numbers in this spot.
He won't swing on low fastballs out of the zone. He will swing on higher fastballs just above the zone. He won't get him to chase down very often on fastballs.
3 balls,
Back
1
inside, it's 3-1. And for this guy who has been just otherworldly patient, Muncy, he's drawn 17 walks in this postseason. He's got a count in his favor of 3-1.
This should not be a fastball. Base open, Will Smith up, 2 outs.
And it wasn't. Full count.
And this is the count. 3-2. If you're going to climb the ladder in the top of the zone, this is where he's vulnerable. Other than that, he rarely swings wild with 3-2. That's to credit to all his walks he's taken.
That is into right center field and will score 2. Max Muncy delivers with 2 out here in the 3rd inning. Seager and Turner score, and it's 3-0 Dodgers here in the 3rd.
Again, an innocent hit by batter. 2 outs. Nothing brewing. And then after 2 more batters, 2 runs have scored. There was the high slider. Did not get it where he wanted to. And Muncy and the Dodgers. It's amazing how many 2-out runs. I know there's a lot of games to choose from, but 48 2-out runs in the postseason.
That is the most all-time in a single postseason. A 2-out home run in the first, and a 2-out 2-run single here in the third, and the Dodgers are on top, and it is 2-out damage. Turner right in the middle of it. 2 innings after his home run. Here's Will Smith, the DH. Strike 2.
So the best pitch for Charlie Morton tonight has been the curveball. The slider has been a little bit letting him down against right-handed hitters and left-handers, just spinning in the zone. It's really his go-to pitch. Anytime he wants, he can throw a curveball.
Runner Muncy is going on a shot into left center field. Back is Kiermaier, drifting and a step from the track. In one of the deepest parts of the park, he hauls it in, but Max Muncy delivers for his Dodgers. A 2-out 2-run single. Morton walks back into the dugout, down 3. Forget to download the Fox Sports Samsung 5G View app for an all-new immersive fan experience available exclusively on 5G enabled Android devices. Max Muncy with a big moment. Top of this third inning. It's 3-0 Dodgers for Buehler, who fires a strike to Willy Adames. Adames, then Kiermaier, then Zunino. Bottom 3 in the lineup for Tampa Bay. Looking to get some activity on the bases against Buehler.
Well, I've already seen some big swings, and that's going to be trouble against Buehler. You're not going to be able to do much with a big swing, and I know that's the style of hitting, but he feasts off those big swings like that. I mean, there's just nothing that a power pitcher fears when he's able to handle the fastball on that part of the plate and the style of grip it, rip it, and let it fly at the plate.
No.
See, like right now, after you've established the force, the fastball, you see how many times he's gone 73% fastball. He spins a breaking ball right here. He'll spin Adames into the ground.
Ground ball left side. Turner stabs it. He's played some great defense, and Muncy on the other end. Old twinkle toes Muncy. Good play on both ends. It'll bring in Kevin Kiermaier, nice enough to wear a microphone for us for this game. And here he is before tonight's event.
Give me a 5. Give me a kiss. I gotta go hit, okay? I'll see you soon. I love you. I love you. Please don't cry. Bye, buddy. I'll be back. I'm gonna go hit. I'm gonna go hit. I'm gonna go hit.
That's great. With his son Carter, his wife Marissa. Carter with a K, by the way. KK like Kevin Kiermaier. And Ken Rosenthal, you had a note about how we get so wrapped up in all these games and pitch by pitch and all that. What that moment was for Kevin Kiermaier when he went deep back in game 1.
Well, Joe, you remember Kevin Kiermaier was a 31st round pick out of Parkland College in Champaign, Illinois. And like you said, he went deep off Clayton Kershaw. And he told me going around the bases, he could not feel his feet hitting the ground. The home run was all the more special because it came off Kershaw, who, of course, is a future Hall of Famer. And Kiermaier said it's a moment he'll cherish forever.
Yep, these are grown men playing a kid's game on a national stage at the most important time of the year in October. And that was a thrill even for a grizzled vet. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and now a defensive fight it off swing to keep Kiermaier up there. Buehler has struck out 4.
That's outside.
Buehler
Did he swing?
just ran it outside, and Kiermaier, as they appealed to the third base umpire, Mark Carlson, has run the count full.
And what he's doing a good job is he could, if he selfishly wanted to, strike out a few more guys in this game, and it's hard to believe because he struck out a lot, but he's powering the fastball by him and getting outs. For later, he'll bring more breaking ball.
That is a rocket foul.
And so when he's had guys typically 1-2, 0-2, and he could put them away with that breaking ball, the beauty of pitching is that you don't always have to do that early in the game. And now with a 3-run lead, Buehler has an interesting philosophy. As he told us, he'd rather walk a guy than give up a hit. Well, it's working up until this point.
No, ball's up.
That's upstairs, and there's your walk. So the Rays have their first base runner of the night, a 1-out walk to Kiermaier. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by MasterCard and by Dell Technologies. When it comes to your business, we'll stop at nothing. On this date, 1993, Joe Carter. You'll never hit a bigger home run, Joe. Won it for the Blue Jays.
Back-to-back for the Blue Jays.
Right. They got to the postseason this year, and they ran into the Tampa Bay Rays. And it's still a good young team that we're going to be hearing a lot from over the next handful of years. Rays got them 2-zip. Zunino is 0 for 7.
No, it's outside.
There's a great piece written by Jack Harris in the LA Times about what Buehler and his fellow pitchers went through at Vanderbilt. Your coach Tim Corbin would put them in high leverage situations and see if they could get out of it. As this one's fouled back, called it a skins game, and I just can't think of a smarter, better way to make guys learn how to get out of jams. And boy, did we see that in that Game 6 start in the NLCS when he had bases loaded, nobody out in the second inning. Dodgers facing elimination. He struck out the next 2 and got Christian Pache to ground out. He's used to it. That is, wow, what a play by Turner, putting on a clinic. He's homered, he's doubled, he's scored 2, and he takes a hit away from Zunino. The 35-year-old can still play. Pickett, Justin, and a 5-4-3 double play. After 3, game 3, 3-0. Kershaw loved it. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Camping World, making RVing fun and easy since 1966. Authentic caps, tees, jerseys, hoodies, and more. Get all your Dodgers and Rays gear and cheer on your team at home with the official source, MLBshop.com. Morton misses with a breaking ball low to Cody Bellinger. Underway in the 4th. LA up 3-0. Bellinger flied out on the first pitch to left his first time up. A ball and a strike. The 4 outfield alignment with Lau in straightaway right, and you can put 8 guys out there and they're not going to get to that. Our Good Hands play of the game, sponsored by Allstate, and we saw it just a moment ago to end the 3rd. Beautiful play by Turner.
Good hands in judging that top spin. You see the ball right there, and at this point he's just gauging where that hop's going to go and catcher running. Not many double play balls does Buehler give up. Fly ball strikeout pitcher, and it's still the best friend of a pitcher.
Although our earlier guest Blake Snell has 2 dogs, one of which is named after Junior Griffey, because Blake grew up in Seattle. I mean, dogs are good friends too, John.
They're great friends.
I think it's there's 2 are Junior and Cy. He's won a Cy Young, CY as in Cy Young, and then Junior for Ken Griffey Jr. But the double play, it's right there neck and neck. A strikeout on 3 pitches of Chris Taylor, and second time he's gone down on strikes. 1 on, 1 out. Strikeout number 5 for Charlie Morton.
Chipper's got a couple cool names for his kids. One after Shea Stadium. Shea dominated there.
Yes, he did.
And then he had one just after getting into Cooperstown.
Cooper?
Yeah.
Shea and Cooper. That's nice. Hi, Chipper.
He's got to be watching. Almost. Don't know what part of deer season it is right now. It could be in a deer stand, satellite.
1 on, 1 out, and a check on the runner. Bellinger. Was it at Shea? Wasn't it the Larry chance for?
Oh yeah.
Was it Larry Wayne Jones? Is that his name?
That's right. The first time I actually knew his name when we got to Shea. Always knew him by Chipper.
He came up as a shortstop. Man, what a player. Now a shot down the line. Off the bat of Peterson. Bellinger is going to dig for third. Peterson falls down and is happy to get back to first as Margot made a nice play in the corner. It's first and third, 1 out.
Yeah, the one thing about this ballpark that we've already seen is it can take some tricky bounces, and if your advantage is with your legs, you can really, now you saw Bellinger had to go back, you could really take advantage of this big part, but it didn't hit any of the walls and kept the double play in play by Peterson not being able to get to second. Choi, of course, doing the best he could to get up. What a good shot that is.
Chance for add-on runs. Bullpen is quiet. The batter is the number 9 hitter, Austin Barnes, who struck out his first time 0 for 6 in this World Series.
Watch for that safety squeeze.
And here you go.
No, it's outside.
Pulls back from ball 1.
It's everyone goes over it in spring training. I don't know how many teams really put that much emphasis in because it rarely happens. The Rays are going to have to crash the third baseman and the first baseman, and what that at least does, showing it right away, is it's got movement and it's got him thinking, and Charlie has to think about pitch selections along the way.
And there it is, the bunt. Run scores.
Can't stop it, I'm telling you.
And it's 4-0 on a perfect bunt by Austin Barnes. And just the third sacrifice of this postseason. And even though he showed it, John, on the first pitch, that bunt was so good, there's nothing Choi could do.
No, and that's what I'm saying. With runners on first and third, you can't defend it. What is Choi going to do? He has to crash, and you're reading it as a runner, so you have no real stress as a runner. It's not like he's going to swing through the pitch. And so the third baseman has to walk in, perfectly executed. And, you know, back in the National League days when there was no DH, that was the play of the 90s and early 2000s. We just haven't seen many of them since.
Well, a big reason why the numbers way down, first of all, the game has changed, but secondly, pitchers are not hitting.
Correct.
We have the universal DH, so that's why there's a huge drop-off in sacrifice hits. But, boy, that was just done to perfection. And it's a 4-0 game for Buehler, and the Dodgers right now are playing an airtight ball game here in game 3. Down to second is Peterson, by the way, and the batter is Betts. who's in the hole 0-2.
So the reason I say it's indefensible, because the worst thing that could happen if you get it down is the runner doesn't score and it's second and third, 2 outs, right? You go to the leadoff hitter and Betts. But by getting the bunt down, you score a run and still get a runner in scoring position. And as we mentioned, you know, what the Dodgers do with 2 outs, it's a brilliant play. And now you got Betts looking to do more damage.
So Barnes is in there for his receiving skills, his framing of pitching skills, and he drops down a perfect bunt for an RBI, his first of the World Series.
No, it's outside.
And second of this postseason. He catches Kershaw, and now he's catching Buehler. I'd say that's pretty good job security with the Dodgers.
Oh. You just got to make sure you get Kershaw to the gym.
1-2 pitch. What a good block by Zunino.
Come on, buddy. I know you're 43, but you can still do it. This is just perfect execution. He puts the ball right where the pitch is, and he doesn't do more than he needs to, right? He just lets the bat. You're always taught when you square around a bunt, let the bat be your eyes and let your body move you up and down. If you don't jab at it, put the ball wherever you want to when you give yourself up.
Morton trying to end this top of the 4th right here as Betts fights it off foul. So 4 runs on the board through 3+. 2 out here in the 4th inning. And the Dodgers already have 6 hits. Three and 2 the count. Mookie Betts. 6 RBIs this postseason. Ground ball, make it 7. Here comes Peterson. Another run for the Dodgers. They lead 5-0, and it's another 2-out run for LA.
The Dodgers entering this postseason, they haven't done it much because they've actually hit a lot more home runs as the postseason went on, but they were they had a team sign of barrels are overrated. This would fall in that category. Just find hits. And they had a sign with their hands that they would shake their hands as if, you know what, not exactly a barrel. They've gone to different signs since they've heated up with hitting a bunch of homers, but I don't know what that is, but they're having a lot of fun.
And then this lineup just keeps coming at you as Corey Seager, who was hit by a pitch and scored a run last inning, and who has hit 7 home runs this postseason. 1 in this World Series waits. There goes Betts. Swing and a miss, and no chance. Stolen base. Number 3 in this World Series for Mookie Betts, and number 5 this postseason.
High leg kick, great jump, easy back.
And then Adames playing around, acting like he was going to pull Mookie's left arm off the bag. That got a smile out of Betts. And now a 1-1 is up and away to Seager.
Well, for the Rays, they're going to need Charlie to eat up another couple innings if he can. I know the score doesn't indicate that, but they'll get the bullpen going. But if he can get on track and just give him another inning or 2, that would really help out the formula for the Rays. If they get back in the game, but more importantly, the rest of the series.
Back in game 1, Mookie Betts provided the taco for all. Steal a base, steal a taco. Stole the first base of this World Series, which means everyone in America gets a free Doritos Locos taco. Stop by Taco Bell on October 28th to get yours.
I put it in my calendar. Got an alarm that'll go off, reminding me of that day.
Here's a 2-2. And that is a fair ball. Wendell. High throw, but Choi makes a play. G-Man Choi up to get it and tagging Seager on his way by. A 2-run fourth inning after a 2-run third. The Dodgers lead this game 3, 5-0. SunTrust are now Truist. For unique content during the World Series and hot stove updates during the offseason, follow @MLB on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Back to the top of the order, and Austin Meadows takes a strike. No hits yet for Tampa Bay, and Buehler has faced the minimum after that slick double play turned last inning by Turner.
Austin Meadows is hoping for a mistake, inner part of the plate.
Ball's inside.
That's where he likes it, and so far Buehler has been good on both sides of the plate. Against left-handers, he's painting the fastball away. Against right-handers, painting the fastball away.
Here's a 1-1 pitch.
And that's just, hitters aren't going to tell you much. They're not going to go back to the dugout and go, boys, we got no chance, but they will tell you what they think of a opposing fastball by their swings, and we get to hear the pop of the mitt.
Lau will follow, and then Arozarena.
No, it's outside.
I think it was in 05 when the Cardinals were playing the Astros in the NLCS, and I saw Larry Walker underneath during the ball game, and Roy Oswalt was pitching for Houston, and Larry Walker looked at me and said, we got no chance.
Yeah, that's a pretty good comp too when you think about Oswalt and the size he is and what he did.
Yeah,
as opposed to Buehler.
I mean, they're just, I would imagine those games, and these Rays are just going to have to wait it out and see if they can chip away and make something happen here against Buehler. That's hard hit right at Bellinger, and a bad break for Meadows.
Well, early on with his fastball, he's been really good, and he's thrown a lot of them, and he's established that, and that's what you want to do as a pitcher, because now you can pitch off of this. There's the breaking ball for a strikeout and the breaking ball for a strikeout, but then he starts throwing fastballs, and look at all the fastballs on the night. 28 of them going into that at bat, 20 of them were for strikes, and that's the goal of every pitcher. Establish your fastball, put the hitter on notice, and then he has no idea what's coming next.
Lau fouls it away, strike one. With the bases empty, that catches the outside corner, and now Lau's thinking, well, he doesn't need extra from side to side. Nothing in two as they play Lau to pull. Went deep twice in game 2 the other way, but they're not convinced, and that's how Buehler's going to pitch him. Good rip there. Still 0-2.
Well, if you think about the emergence of Buehler, and you know, Clayton Kershaw has had an incredible run and continues to be a dominant pitcher, but you could see the trend of this young Buehler becoming the front end of the rotation. Here he is.
Nasty down and in, and that breaking ball tight. Lau comes up empty, 2 out. Big Ten football returns tomorrow. Justin Fields and the 5th-ranked Buckeyes take on Nebraska. It all starts with a special big noon kickoff show live from the shoe, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Rosarena. Here's the next. Fly ball into center. Bellinger is back, drifting on the track for the out. Loud, but the park holds it. Roof is closed, and the ball does not carry. Through 4, it's 5-0 Dodgers in Game 3. Stay tuned for the 5th inning giveaway from T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. Welcome back. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by Camping World as we continue in Arlington, Texas. 5th inning now. Back to work is Morton, and he deals a strike to Justin Turner, who has been all over the place. He's homered, he's doubled, he's scored twice. He's made 2 good plays, started a double play to end the 3rd. 35-year-old's doing it all. Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, nice enough to join us from the dugout. We have seen your team tonight play about as airtight a ball game as you can play. I mean, every facet tonight so far is working for you.
No, it is, and it starts with Walker. Walker and Austin tonight are in lockstep, and he's throwing the heck out of the baseball. The fastball lane, the breaking ball depth, sharpness, getting ahead of guys, and then, yeah, you mentioned that Justin Turner. That double play was huge right there, and his at-bats that he's taken against Morton, who's tough on righties, has been next level.
Well, Buehler has yet to allow a hit, and the pitch count is in an area where you can just kind of, at least for the very near future, just kind of watch this thing with the rest of us.
I see where you're going, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take it pitch by pitch, inning by inning. He's throwing the heck out of it, and we just got to keep playing good defense, and I wouldn't mind some more runs either. Yeah,
I know that. Rumors of the demise of small ball have been greatly exaggerated. What a beautiful safety squeeze by Barnes last inning.
No, it was good. It was really good. Very well executed. If you look back and you run the tape, Jock did a great job of doing a fake break and trying to hold the second baseman. But Austin got a pitch he can handle, get it to the right side, and then Cody scored easy, which is a nice insurance run. Very well executed.
Absolutely. Thanks for the time, Dave.
All right, guys.
All right. Here is a strikeout of Justin Turner. First time he's been retired tonight. And there is one away here in the 5th.
Best cutter slash slider that Morton has thrown tonight, and he needed it off of a guy who had his number. This is a fastball looking like it's coming out of his hand. You can see the late movement off the plate.
Brings in Muncy, got a big 2-out 2-run single in the 3rd. Takes the ball. Obviously Morton has just been trying to pound Max Muncy inside. Charlie Morton tonight has allowed 5 earned runs through 4 1/3 now. His last 5 postseason starts entering this ball game. He's gone 28 innings allowing 5 earned runs. So a different story for a guy that's been so clutch in big games, whether it's been for Tampa Bay or the Houston Astros. 4 outfielders again.
I want to see one to straightaway center. You got 2 people coming in the same direction. See who gets to.
That's Margot, who's kind of in right center, and Kiermaier, who's in left center. 2-1 pitch here. Good delivery by Morton. Strike 2. Second time we've seen Kevin Cash on the phone here in game 3. 2-2 pitch.
Yeah.
That caught the home plate umpire, Bill Miller. And it was inside a full count. As you look at these numbers, realize that Max Muncy has 31 3-ball counts in this postseason. That is the second most in a single postseason to Barry Bonds And now a walk. Bonds had 35 3-ball counts in 0-2, and that is the 18th walk Muncy has picked up this postseason. And that's going to be it for Morton. Right-hander John Curtis is coming in. Morton is KO'd here in the 5th. Curtis worked a third of an inning in game 1. He's back at it here in game 3. Started the season at the alternate training site. Joined the club on August 9th. He's been there forever, part of this good and varied bullpen. Drills the outside corner. Will Smith takes a strike. Ken, give us more on John Curtis.
Well, he's a classic case of how the Rays turn struggling relievers into useful parts. Last season, 2019, spends 3.5 weeks at AAA with the Phillies, 10.95 ERA in 9 appearances. Gets released on July 7th. No team signs him until the Rays give him a minor league deal in early February. They had liked him a few years back. They had some openings in camp, so what the heck, right? They had no idea he'd be this good, but their repeated success stories with guys like this, they're not an accident.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one after the next. Just a terrific job done by this front office, this entire structure. That's foul and strike 2.
Yeah, this bullpen is a huge strength, and we're going to get to show you why some of the things go beyond just what you can see. There's some data behind it, and then there's some ability to turn what Ken talked about and what the Rays have been famous for. Success in their organization, where in another organization may not have had that success.
Will Smith, the DH, 0 for 2, set up at 0-2, and he flies it into right for Margot. 2 out.
So here's a good example. Check this out. This is what they're trying to do. The hands of a clock. There's the left-handed arm angles and the names associated to them, all a little bit different. And then here come the right-handers, and all a little bit different there. That is how the Rays have put together a pretty dominant pen. That is a cool feature.
What a great look at the different arm angles from starters through the back end of the bullpen. 1 on, 2 out. The batter is Bellinger, takes a strike. Cody with a single last inning, and that's what started that 2-run rally. He came home on the bunt. Safety squeeze by Austin Barnes, and then the 2-out RBI hit by Mookie Betts. That's strike 2.
So there's Morton and his release point, right? So the new pitcher for the Rays is going to come in at a different release point. So the hitters are going to look for things differently based on the information they gather and the homework they've done. With that arm angle, release point, consistency, so important.
0-2.
Well, it was no joking matter when Cody Bellinger hit that home run and then had the celebration with Kike Hernandez to the point where it was so violent that it popped his right shoulder out. Thought he was going to have to wear a harness, a brace over that right arm and shoulder, and that wasn't the case. And in game 1 he went deep. He's got a hit in this game.
Yeah.
So he is 2 for 9 in this World Series as he stands in, but he's made some hits really count this postseason. He's homered in each round. He's also taken away a home run in center field in this ballpark against San Diego.
Yeah, and according to him, it's not the only time it's happened. It's happened several different times, and that's genetics, and the ability for it to go back in is a blessing. But you get that kind of incredible feeling an inflammation takes over, and he was lucky enough to finish that game, and the day off kind of calm it down, or the time off calmed it down, and he felt it wasn't going to be an issue coming into this World Series.
They are really worried about Muncy over at first again. Second time in this World Series we've seen more than one throw over with Muncy, who does not run a lot. They count 1-2. And now a strikeout ends the inning. Good work by Curtis, slamming the door in the top of the 5th inning. Bottom half rolls in halfway through game 3. 5-0 LA. Call the shots during the World Series games and compete for one of 100 cash prizes with MLB Rally, the free-to-play game where you make at-bat predictions in real time. Download MLB Rally app now. Restrictions apply. See official rules at MLB.com/rally. G-Man Choi takes a 96-mile-an-hour freight train for strike 1. Choi struck out his first time.
Continues that trend of taking the first pitch. People might ask, why don't pitchers all throw their first pitch for a strike? The problem is you don't think they're going to take. You think they're going to do damage, and you want to throw your best pitch on the first pitch every time up.
0-2.
World Series fact: first time either team was no hit for 4 innings in back-to-back games since '65. And that was between Sandy Koufax and Mudcat Grant over 2 games. The Dodgers were no hit through 4 in game 2. The Rays have been no hit through 4 here in game 3. Snell did the honors the other night.
Yeah, Snell and the Rays did something you don't get a chance to see very often against the Dodgers. They struck out a ton of Dodgers, and that's a credit to the stuff that they had and kept them off balance.
1-2 pitch here.
Nope.
It skips in.
Thank you.
Choi trying to get on to get something going. Margot will follow, then Wendell. Strikeout number 6. Tom, what are you seeing down there?
Well, that delivery that John likes so much. 3-part delivery, traditional delivery. Hands over the head, gather, and go. Now, his first pitching coach was his maternal grandfather, Dave Walker, and Dave was from Michigan, and they used Justin Verlander, then with the Tigers, as the template for the delivery. Now, Walker told me, I'm a fast twitch guy, and that's not usually a term associated with pitchers. You hear it for center fielders and shortstops, but it's true for him and for pitchers like Verlander and Tim Lincecum. So he said that's the reason why he has been traditionally a slow starter. It's almost like an F1 engine that needs time to get perfectly synced up. But I'll tell you what, guys, his speed right now, I'm talking with Walker, it's not just arm speed, but the speed of his body in the go phase. He's essentially in mid-season form now in a pandemic season. The other day he came up to me and he said 2,700. I said, what does that mean? That was his average fastball spin rate in his last start. Not just his highest of the season, but higher than any pitcher this year except Trevor Bauer. That Formula One engine, it is humming right now.
And the Rays are finding that out, taking a lot of left turns and going back to the dugout. 2-1 pitch is fouled back here, 2-2.
One of the things in talking to him, asked him if there's a player or a pitcher that he looked at and kind of modeled after, and he did say Justin Verlander, although Verlander has a little different release point than him. And Walker Buehler not taking a backseat to anyone.
Good take there by Margot, and the count full, 3-2. with one down. That is the first hit of the night, down the line and toward the corner. Margot will glide into second base as Peterson digs it out. And the first hit is an extra base hit for Tampa Bay.
And you could say it's the first mistake that Buehler has made with the location of his pitch. Tried to go away, went in, and when you're in a neutral count in a fastball situation, you're helping the hitter out.
Brings in Wendell. Joey had a 3 RBI game in game number 2. A 2-out 2-run double and a sac fly. RBI chance here for the talented third baseman for the Rays. Strike one.
See, that's a perfect example of, you see that first swing, that ball, he missed the ball by a foot or more, and it was right down the middle. The angle of which he came after that bat, see where his hands are, but then watch how he tries to get flat underneath the ball, but the velocity is so great that he can't time that up. Lesser velocity, he might have been doing some damage.
Ball's down.
Got like a little bit of a hitch with his hands that he's, of course, no batting gloves, which pretty cool. A little bit of a hitch, and he's trying to go and time up that fastball, not to mention anything else that might be coming his way.
Strike two. .40-20 during the regular season for the Rays, in their third AL East title in a 23-year history.
I mentioned earlier he could have put away Wendell with a curveball, and maybe he was saving it for later with 2 strikes. This would be the case with a runner in scoring position if he wants to.
Fastball at 98. Only 2 base runners through all those pitches. A 1-out walk to Kiermaier in the third. A double play followed. And now a 1-out double by Margot. 1-2 pitch is tipped and hit the dirt.
That ball's foul.
And the at bat will continue as the home plate umpire Bill Miller wanted to look at the ball to see if there was dirt on it. Let's see if this hit the bat, then hit the dirt, and it did. Good job by the crew chief Bill Miller.
And that's that curveball he has in his back pocket whenever he wants to go to Wendell, and it would have been a strikeout, of course, if he didn't foul tip it. Trying to get ready for 96, 97. He throws that Uncle Charlie at you.
One-two now is fouled away. As you look ahead in this World Series, Julio Urias has been named the Game 4 starter, and he's just been dominant this postseason. 4-0 with an ERA of 0.56. He's the winner in Game 7 of the NLCS. He'll take on the Rays tomorrow night. There's a strikeout. Number 7 on the night. Ryan Yarbrough may not start, but he will really work to the bulk of the hitters for the Dodgers, according to Kevin Cash.
That is a great example of what you can do as a starting pitcher when you don't show the hitters the first time around all your arsenal pitches. And I almost feel like he was saving this pitch for that situation that we talked about if runners get in scoring position. It's a killer breaking ball, and the stats don't look good for Wendell off of that type of breakable ball. Good job by the catcher and for Barnes and Buehler in this at bat against Wendell.
Now Adames fouls it back. Strike two.
Same situation here. He's thrown a lot of fastballs, big swings. Adames has struggled in the postseason on putting the ball in play. High percentage of strikeouts. And all you got to do when you have an 0-2 pitch is throw this one nowhere near the strike zone. Put the pressure on the hitter who's struggling, chasing some results probably.
Oh, 2.
See, that one even caught a little too much of the zone.
Another 0-2 pitch to Adames. That is down into the corner, and the Rays are on the board. Margot will score. Adames content with a double, 2 doubles in the inning, and it's a 5-1 ball game.
Again, with 2 strikes, you want this nowhere near the strike zone. Buehler knows it. It wasn't a horrible pitch. It just caught too much of the strike zone. And you see it didn't turn the corner and stayed middle. And what a welcome sign for Adames and the Rays. And you could tell right there.
Well, Adames needed that. So did Tampa Bay. But Willie, 6 for 45 this postseason prior to that. A 2-out run, and now a ground ball picked by Muncy, and the inning is over off the bat of Kevin Kiermaier. Rays are on the board, a run on 2 hits, and they strand their first runner of the night. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, a special moment for Stand Up to Cancer here in Arlington. Up above, Camping World provides tonight's aerial coverage. Glad they're with us yet again as we move into the 6th inning of Game 3, and the Dodgers lead it now 5-1 to the Rays. Got 2 doubles in the bottom of the 5th. Bottom 3 in the order for LA. That means Taylor, Peterson, and Barnes.
Ball's up.
Yeah, this game was going to be a little easier to manage for each manager when you think about their starters and the prototypical way they'd like to utilize their pens. Game 2 was just for the Dodgers. That's 8 pitchers, and they got caught in a couple leverage situations. The Rays in their lineup, you would have to think differently about the lineup when you're facing 8 pitchers, but tonight both managers knew I could throw my lineup out there, and if each team does what they're supposed to do, I have a path to victory a lot easier than in Game 2.
There's a 1-1 delivery, and it's in at the knees to Taylor. Strike 2. Well, Walker Buehler would like to keep these guys in the bullpen for the Dodgers like they're locked up in a jail out there in right center field. Just keep them out there. Yep. Buehler just cruise on through, and then you've got Arias, but you've got a full bullpen to go with Kershaw going the next game. There's a strikeout. 1 out here in the 6th. Do a game summary. Top of the hour. That's how Pete Macheska, our producer, likes to do it. And he says it's 10 o'clock in the East. Yeah, we know, Pete, but it's 9 o'clock here locally. Walker Buehler, his night tonight. 2 hits, 1 run. Justin Turner right in the middle of it. His 11th career postseason home run, also a double and a run scored. And Charlie Morton got knocked around tonight. Typically, he is absolutely lights out for either the Tampa Bay Rays or the Houston Astros when he was with them. There's a strike into Jock Peterson.
Yeah, I still find the game fascinating in the ways that the information tells you a lot, and you know if you execute, you got a better chance, obviously, of being successful. But
That's down the line, but Peterson pulled the trigger a little early.
But the beauty of the game is you got to take something away from the opposing starter, right? So what you're trying to do is, okay, if I can take Buehler's fastball away, well, they haven't been able to do that. He's established it, so he's dictated kind of the tempo, and you can tell by the Dodgers and their little hop in their step offensively. Offensively, the Dodgers took away some things from Charlie Morton that does very well, and it changed how Charlie Morton attacked the Dodgers.
Curtis has retired all 3 he's faced, make it all 4. Wendell to his right. 2 out in the top of the 6th inning, and we'll give you a quick word from T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage.
T-Mobile brings you 5G BP, the first ever 5G powered stream from cameras on the field. Get closer to the game with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage.
Number 9 man Austin Barnes will step in. He dropped down a bunt. The safety squeeze that scored Cody Bellinger back in the 4th. The last RBI on a sacrifice bunt in the World Series happened in the Rays' favor back in 08. Jason Bartlett for Tampa Bay in Game 2. Rays won that game 4-2, and prior to Game 2 in this series, that was their only World Series win, as that Fall Classic with the Phillies went just 5 games. Barnes, the second catcher in World Series history, dropped down a sac bunt for an RBI, joining Tom Nieto for St. Louis Game 4 against Kansas City. That is a shot into left center field. Back at the wall. It is gone. A bunt for an RBI, and now Austin Barnes shoots one out into left center. And it's 6-1 Dodgers here in the 6th.
You don't see that very often. I'm just going to say it without even having any data.
There's no way you can be wrong.
It's the first time ever in World Series that a sacrifice squeeze and a homer has happened by the same player.
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to fly with you. Here's a check swing foul by Betts. Another 2-out RBI, by the way, for the Dodgers.
Well, this one was not a good 2-strike pitch. He had painted the 2 sliders up at the top of the zone, and then right there did not execute the pitch, but Barnes did.
That is now 50 runs scored by the Dodgers this postseason with 2 out. And they've hit 25 home runs this postseason. Mookie Betts with a 2-out RBI single and a stolen base in the 4th. And he's got another hit.
I mean, I get it, but I don't.
The 4 outfielders with
against Mookie Betts. I mean,
well, the right side of the infield wide open, and Betts just shot one through. This one off the bat of Barnes was blistered over the wall in left center. Max Muncy loved it. Tell you what, the ball is still carrying with the roof closed here tonight.
Yeah, there have been some, not a lot, but a few mistakes, and the hitters are taking advantage.
Betts takes off, and Seager fouls it left side out of play. Betts got a great jump. Ends up near third base. But against Betts, the Tampa Bay Rays data told them they'd be better off with 4 outfielders and 3 infielders, and Betts got his 2nd straight hit.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me, but Betts is I don't care if you add an extra 2 infielders or 2 outfielders, he's so good that if he's on his game, he's going to get his hits and he's going to cause havoc on the bases.
now he draws a throw. The late, great Lou Brock has been joined. Second player in World Series history with 3+ stolen bases and a home run over the first 3 games. There he goes. He wants another. And safe like the base burglar himself, Lou Brock. 2 in this ball game and 6 this postseason.
And he did this on a slide step, or the quickest move that Curtis could have given him. It's just a part of the game that most pitchers don't have to work on, and probably don't have the ability to make changes if they have a slow leg kick.
Ball at 95 from Curtis, up and away to Seager. Count 2-1. Corey's been hit by a pitch, scored a run. 0 for 2 on the night. That's down. 3-1 with Turner next.
Dangerous pitch here.
He's already hit 7 home runs this postseason.
3-2.
Well, Chevy's always thinking about the MVP, and it's early in this World Series, but it's time for our Chevy MVP watch. And Mookie Betts is certainly on that list.
No.
That'll bring up Turner.
Could add this guy possibly as well.
Turner is homered, doubled, scored twice, and made at least one, I would count 2, but definitely one terrific defensive play in this game. And if you're wondering what that black mark is on the back of his jersey that covers part of his name, that's from the follow through and all the pine tar that Turner has on the mid part of the bat. Ball 1 to Justin.
Screams some kind of commercial, some kind of advertising
for like a detergent.
Oh yeah, you could see him on the cover of it.
1 ball, no strikes, and now a pop-up right side. Long run, Margot can't get there. Foul ball. This is a World Series matchup that has 6 regular outfielders that can really cover a lot of ground, especially in center and in right. With Bellinger and Betts for the Dodgers, Kiermaier and Margot for the Rays. Rosarena in left can certainly move. You can track him down too. That is one into center. Kiermaier is there, and the inning is over. A home run by the number 9 man. In there for what he does behind the plate. He's been a star at the plate. 5-run lead is back for the Dodgers. 6-1 in Game 3. Download the all-new app for an interactive fan experience that you can control from around the diamond in real time. Available only on 5G-enabled Android devices. Game number 3 into the bottom of the 6th inning. In for a strike to Mike Zunino, the catcher. It'll be Zunino and then Meadows, then Lau. Five-run lead is back. That's off the very end of the bat. And that's strike 2.
One of the things I talked about in the beginning that Buehler's done great. And when you're going to have a successful game and you're going to be in these kind of games, you got to get that leadoff batter of every inning. He's been able to do that. One of the toughest in all of baseball, average wise, to get on base via the hit, to lead off an inning.
0-2 pitch. Strikeout number 8. Back to the top of the order in Meadows. Now a quick word from Evan Williams Bourbon.
Get ready for the next pitch with Evan Williams, bourbon done right.
Meadows 0 for 2 and 1 for 7 in this World Series. Mark Pryor, the pitching coach. I think the only thing he's doing is counting pitches with that little clicker and otherwise just kind of hanging back and watching.
Joe, how many times have you told me to wait to get the information before you go out on a limb and say something?
Many times.
Many times. Well, he's the second player, Barnes, to do that.
To have a sacrifice bunt,
yeah,
for an RBI,
yeah,
and then homer in the same World Series game.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
But he's the first catcher. Hector Lopez, how about that? And we're just going to keep adding qualifiers.
No, it's outside.
Outfielder Hector Lopez, so catcher, he becomes the first catcher to do that.
Yeah, that's really what I meant.
Meadows waits for a 2-1 now. As Buehler deals, it's down. And the count 2-2. Hector Lopez, left fielder, played some third, second. From Panama, 91 years old. Two-two pitch, breaking ball hammered into right. That's set up. Betts over to cut it off, and Austin Meadows with the third Rays hit of Game 3. That'll bring in Lau.
This breaking ball just didn't have enough arm speed, and it lagged the corner or lagged the tilt going down, and Meadows took advantage of it with 2 strikes. He needed that hit.
Lau with 2 home runs in Game 2. He can figure out Buehler. He can put the Rays right back in the ball game. That at 97 for strike 1.
Ooh, that is just when you're struggling, even though he hit those 2 home runs, you don't want to see a guy get you back in a funk. And 1 strike away from 3 strikeouts against Lau, just beating him to the outside part of the plate. You can see him try to roll over or possibly pull that pitch. Hard to do at 97.
Upstairs for ball 1. Blake Trinan getting loose in case Buehler needs help getting through this 6th. What a good play by Austin Barnes. Keeps the double play in order as that effort keeps Meadows at first.
Yeah, he made it look easy. It wasn't that easy. Blocked it, ball stayed right in the glove. He could pick it up.
He caught it.
There's the strikeout, out number 2 and strikeout number 9. And the batter will be Arozarena.
Well, you talked about Kevin Cash saying we got to find a way to stay off that high fastball. Well, good luck. When he's thrown enough strikes with his fastball and he gets you in defensive counts, it is almost impossible when he throws a belt-high fastball with 2 strikes to be disciplined to stay off of it. Credit Buehler for being on attack.
Rosarena takes a strike. Buehler came into this ball game with 10 straight starts of 6+ strikeouts in the postseason. Opponents hitting 182 against him. He has struck out 9, and he is now number 2 on the all-time Dodgers strikeout list for pitchers in the postseason, well behind Kershaw, but he slid in front of Kenley Jansen here tonight. Kershaw with 201. Buehler up to 82. That's out of play right side. Strike 2. By the way, if this World Series goes to 7 games, tonight's matchup, Walker Buehler against the winner-take-all king Charlie Morton, would be the pitching matchup. Here's a 1-2.
That's outside.
2-2.
Again, what makes him so tough, he saw that pitch at 88, late break. He has the breaking ball similar to Clayton Kershaw, a little firmer, but it has the same action. Then he has that fastball that just jumps on the hitter.
2-2 to Rosarena. That's foul. It's probably it for Buehler, up over 90, leading by 5. Trying to get through 6. Trying and ready to go if they want to go that direction. Buehler wants to hold him off till the 7th. Here's a 2-2. Struck him out, and that is 10 on the night. The Dodgers have put up 6 runs on 9 hits, but the story tonight is that guy, 26-year-old Walker Buehler. Well, we talk about Super 6, and there was no winner last week. So this Sunday, Fox Bet Super 6 is giving you another chance at $1 million. You can play for free right now. So download the Fox Bet Super 6 app and make your picks for Sunday's games for a shot at $1 million. Ryan Sheriff takes over, first time in the World Series for Sheriff, and he deals a bit high for ball 1. Sheriff added back to this roster. There are the numbers during the regular season. Didn't allow any runs over just under 10 innings pitched. Hits the outside corner with strike 1.
Low three-quarter delivery, slings it. High percentage of basically 2 pitches, 80% sinkers and the rest sliders.
That catches the outside corner, strike 2.
The Dodgers just do what they've done all year. They have absolutely taken care of starting pitchers, especially in the slug department, better than anybody in baseball.
Muncy waits and swings through it. Struck him out, 1 away here in the 7th.
But as I mentioned with their slugging, they came up with a slogan that we're going to be able to show you that speaks to their whole process of their offense.
Here's Will Smith, the DH tonight. Ryan Sheriff from LA misses outside with ball 1, 30 years old. 3-1 in his limited time in the big leagues, 28 games, 2.73 ERA, and with all the left-handed power, the Rays wanted another lefty in their pen as that misses up. 2-0. Smith 0 for 3 with a strikeout, 2 flyouts. Cody Bellinger will be next. Trinan still up in the bullpen for the Dodgers. Looks like he's coming in. 2-0 pitch is inside, 3-0.
Could it be that they brought in the sheriff because there was so much stealing going on? I mean, could it be?
Could be. It could be. Here's a 3-0 to Will Smith.
Inside.
A 4-pitch walk after the strikeout.
Well, I talked to you about they lead the world in hard hit, exit velocity, but what the Dodgers adopted as a team was barrels are overrated, and this is how they went about it.
Barrels are overrated. Shake them out. Shake them out. Barrels are overrated. Barrels overrated.
And here is that last man you saw in that piece, Cody Bellinger, who is 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Well, this is a 5-run ball game, and obviously Walker Buehler has been in control from the beginning. It appears his night is over.
You can always tell.
Yeah.
The whole personality of a pitcher changes.
Yeah. So Trinan's ready to go. Buehler will sit. Allowed 1 run on 3 hits. So it's important for Sheriff to keep this just a 5-run ball game.
I've been around certain guys and they're all different. Personalities are different. They don't talk and say a word during their pitching, and then when they get out, you don't want to be near them because they won't shut up. I'm not saying Walker. That's not Walker. It's just the personality of just no emotion, out there dominating, letting this pitching do his talking, and now you can exhale, relax, and talk about your performance.
Sheriff a check on the runner and a swing and a miss by Bellinger, strike 2. What were you like? I would imagine you're pretty consistent.
Yeah, I like talking during the game. I never wanted to change my personality per se. Like if I had no hits going, I didn't want nobody not sitting around me or talking. So I like to talk about what was going on, ask questions, what did they see, and then try to always talk my way into staying in the game as long as possible, and that didn't always work.
Not hard hit. And the only out at second as Smith is erased on the force out.
Well, you're going to see the ball coming out of his hand, and this is what the hitters are looking at, by the way. This is a four-seam fastball just coming out and exploding, right? Well, when you get a chance to see the views of this and where they come out of his hand and how you're supposed to pick these up, these are fastballs at different planes, different parts of the strike zone, and of course, different counts. But what he did is establish it early, and I mean, he had the hitters for the Rays just on their heels at all points. It seemed like every hitter had 2 strikes on him at some point, and 10 strikeouts to do that.
Chris Taylor has struck out 3 times, gets to face the lefty Sheriff and hits it foul.
You know, you talked about earlier when he dealt with the bases loaded, nobody out against the Braves. He had that identical situation a few years back and didn't get out of it. Acuna hit that grand slam, and I asked him what did he learn about that and how fast that inning went. He lost control, lost command, didn't get out of it, and ultimately he has not pitched a game like that since. He had bases loaded in the San Diego series, 1 out and a 3-0 count, and struck out the next 2 guys. So you talk about reliving a moment and having your brain sometimes go too fast. He slows down and just feeling more comfortable. There's no situation that he's been through now that he doesn't feel like he can't accomplish or correct.
Nothing in 2 the count. Taylor trying to avoid his 4th strikeout of the night. Sheriff.
And I, just for the record, the word ace has been thrown around so much it loses its meaning, but the torch has been passed. And no one's going to talk about it when you're going on. I mean, I lived my career with 2 of the greatest in the game, and it was always this ace, that ace, you know, but you realize when this young pitcher, for all that Clayton has done and will do, the Dodgers have made him their #1 pitcher.
Ball 1. And Kershaw, no issue with that at all.
No, he knows it. I mean, when you're playing, you know when you're living and breathing with your teammates what you've done and how important it is. But then when it's time, you graciously know. And this guy's running up 98, 99 with 2 great secondary pitches.
To the second baseman and caught on the fly by Lau. Walker is talking a lot over there. Here comes Trinan. Bottom of the 7th. Dodgers by 5. Create custom reels and search for over 3.5 million videos this World Series. Watch, create, share only on MLB.com/film room. We're playing baseball here next door at the former home of the Texas Rangers. They're doing Friday Night Lights, playing high school football, which in this state, it's just a little different than all the others. As Blake Trinan takes over here in the 7th inning, and Ji-Man Choi is first up. He'll be followed by Margot and Wendell. Five-run Dodger lead here in Game 3 with the World Series even at a game apiece. Choi takes high. Choi, Margot, Wendell against this right-hander Trinan, who has been a closer in the big leagues, and now it's his job to keep it right where it is. They came into this postseason a little iffy on where they were with their top save man in the history of the organization, Kenley Jansen, as Choi grounds it to shallow right, picked up by Taylor, 1 out. And Kenley Jansen showed enough in the NLCS to filter his way back to the back end of the bullpen, and that really sets that group up as long as Kenley's effective, and he looked good against Atlanta.
Yeah, he did, and he's been grinding along, trying to make some changes to correct the flaws. I'm going to tell you something. There's no better job in the world as a pitcher when you're connected, your mechanics, and you're out there 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, and you just know you're going to click. But on the opposite side of that, it is miserable when you know something's off, because you're just not given that luxury to work out of trouble or work it in the game. You got to be lights out right away and with no room for error.
And well, Margot took a strike from Trinan and got it in there at 98. Trinan got some big outs against Atlanta in that LCS.
Well, the game was virtually swung when he came in. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out.
That was in Game 7. It was 1-4-3. Home run by Kike Hernandez tied it. And the game-winning run was delivered by Cody Bellinger. I mean, 2 on Margot.
I would love to know the percentage or of a double play with 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, how many times that happens. It can't be much more than 1 or 2%, and that's what happened. And it really did. It changed the whole series. When you think about both these teams' journey to get here, the Rays had 2 tough series, and the Dodgers really had 2 tough series. One didn't turn out that way. They won 3-0, but every game was tight for the most part against the Padres. But then against the Braves, I mean, they were an inning away from not getting here easily. You could say that, and if anything, give them credit for staying in those games and winning them.
That's outside.
Margot didn't go. 1. Rays took care of Toronto. Won the best of 5 in 5 against the Yankees. Mike Brasso with the biggest swing of that one in Game 5. Rosarena has been smashing the baseball throughout.
Oh, no, that missed him.
Almost got Margot. And then after going up 3 games to nothing on the Houston Astros, the Astros, led by Dusty Baker, came roaring back and made it 3-3. But Tampa Bay behind tonight's starter, Charlie Morton, won Game 7. Here's a 2-2 from Trinan. Nasty pitch. Good movement at 97, 2 out.
Yeah, Trinan had the unreal year with the Oakland A's a couple years ago, and it was this pitch that was so devastating. See how it just falls? I mean, that's 97, 98, and the ball is like falling off a table. That's a gift. That's a 2-seam fastball with tremendous late movement. And then he's become back to the Trinan of the A's because now he adds that unhittable cutter for the most part. That pitch right there, and you've got a ball that goes opposite ways, and that's what you want as a pitcher. You want to cover both lanes, they will say. You want the ball going away from a lefty and into a lefty, and the same thing, of course, with a righty, and that's what Blake has been able to do.
1 ball, no strikes on Joey Wendell. That's foul. It hit, I believe, off his foot. One and one. Right-hander getting ready. It's Ryan Thompson. It's gone Morton, Curtis, Sheriff, Thompson getting loose.
No, ball's out.
2-1. Manager Kevin Cash of the Rays waiting to get through this game to officially announce his starter for tomorrow.
2-2.
And there is a difference between a starter and an opener these days. And
yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see who it is taking on Julio Urias.
Yeah, and I would think all signs would point towards a similar style of what the Dodgers had in Game 2 and just kind of flip-flopping the roles.
Urias, as big a part of the Dodgers getting to this point as really anyone.
Swing.
Strikeout on a pitch down and in, and a perfect first inning of work for Blake Trinan. His good stuff continues this postseason. Ray's been looking for answers all night long, whether against Buehler or Trinan. Well, you're not going to be with us long here because we're going to say goodbye for a short while yet again, because after Kike Hernandez was announced as a pinch hitter, Ryan Sheriff, the lefty, is lifted for the new right-hander Ryan Thompson. We'll be right back. Is into the ball game. Been busy this postseason already. His 7th game during the regular year. You see 25 games, ERA just under 4.5. Kike Hernandez is first up, takes a strike. Hernandez batting for Jack Peterson, and the Dodgers will add to their defense. But Hernandez at second, and that will kick Chris Taylor out to left.
And those arm angles we showed you, more like at 3 o'clock from the right side.
Just caught the zone, nothing in 2. Charlie Morton started, went 4 1/3, 5 runs on 7 hits. Then Curtis allowed a run. Here's a strikeout to start the inning. Good work by Ryan Sheriff with a scoreless 7th. Our dynamic play of the game presented by Hankook Tire, and here is the sacrifice for the RBI and then the home run. Back-to-back plate appearances by Austin Barnes. Drove home 2, the short way, the long way.
He's been amazing. He really has. I mean, not to say that he can't hit, but you're expecting defense first, and his hitting in the postseason has been really, really good for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
He is 7 out of 19. And now 3 RBIs, but 2 in the ball game. There's one back to the big right-hander Thompson for out number 2. Ken Rosenthal. What a night here for Austin Barnes.
Well, Joe, the Dodgers call Barnes Sam or Sammy, which is an odd nickname for someone named Austin, but there's a story behind it. During his rookie year, Chase Utley, then with the Dodgers, ordered Barnes to pick up street tacos on his way to the ballpark in San Francisco. When Barnes arrived at the clubhouse, his fellow catcher, A.J. Ellis, called out Utley and said, "You don't even know his name." Utley said, "Sure I do. It's Sam." Ellis shot back, "No, it's Austin," to which Utley replied, "Well, it's Sam now." Now, Utley knew Barnes' name, but he was playing a role he relished, that of crusty old veteran, and Barnes has been Sam ever since.
And that crusty old veteran, Chase Utley's here tonight. Here's a broken back ground ball left side off the bat of Betts, and another great athletic play by G-Man Choi. Up to grab it, and he tagged Betts on the way by. A 1-2-3 top of the 8th. He can play. He's worked hard on the defense. It's paid off. 6-1 after 7.5 in game 3. Millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play through donations. Brand new sports equipment. Text PLAY to the number on your screen to help keep kids in the game. 36413. That was the number. We start the bottom of the 8th inning. Willie Adames first up, and Brusdar Graterol, hard throwing right-hander in the game, and up to get it. The underhand flip for the out. And as we suspected, Kike Hernandez is in the game at second base. Chris Taylor goes out to left. And here is Kevin Kiermaier, just a great guy, and wearing a microphone for us tonight. Nice to do that, to give us a little peek into life as a Tampa Bay Ray when you are the veteran center fielder. Here you go.
102, and he barely looks like he's throwing.
How's that?
How about you're a Ray hitter and you go from Buehler, struck out 10. Trinan with his nasty stuff strikes out 2, and now you got the hardest throwing guy at 102 bringing heat here in the 8th. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball into right. Back is Betts. So is Bellinger. Here's our sounds of the game. Compliments of Kevin.
Come on, come on. Let's work some good ABs. Come on, come on. Let's go base to base. Come on, come on. Come on, keep flying barrels. Keep flying barrels. Come on. Come on, Z.
Trying to stay positive down there while the Dodger pitching has shut down the Ray hitting. For the Rays, they're going to go back to their bench and call on Yoshi Tsutsugo. There are his numbers: 8 home runs during the regular season. Yoshi making his first appearance of this World Series. Ball one.
So here's a perfect example of what I was talking about. 102, 101, two-seamer. More contact off Gratterall.
Good play by Hernandez to charge, stay down on it, get the out. Any other thoughts, John, before I say
less strikeouts?
Less strikeouts. I knew you had one more. The Division Series Game 1 from Florida brings it. And a breaking ball is fouled away by Corey Seager, strike one. Ninth inning. Dodgers leading. Perez takes over behind the plate. Michael's first World Series appearance. After the Rays hit for Zunino.
Oh, it's outside.
Hey, I want to say hi to a good friend and the strongest kid I know, Charlie Raymond, who is watching at MD Anderson with his dad John, and I'm sure his mom Leanne is not far away, and his sisters, who he gives trouble to every day. Strong kid. Charlie, see you at the ballpark in 2021. That is upstairs, and the count 2 balls 2 strikes. Seager looking for his first hit of the night. Still 2-2. It went Charlie Morton with 4 1/3, Curtis with an inning and 2/3, Sheriff, Ryan Sheriff from LA and a former teammate high school. Fox Sports Zone, Casey Garland went an inning with a walk and a strikeout. Ryan Thompson a perfect inning, and now McClanahan good at bat being put together here by Seager.
Well, kind of similar games and on opposite ways. The Rays did it to the Dodgers almost this fashion. Dodgers made it close and came back with a couple runs late, but the Dodgers are returning the trick here in Game 3.
How about that 101 from this young lefty? Another easy 100. I don't get it. It used to look hard for people to throw 100. At least to me it did.
Yeah.
I'm sure it did to you.
Yeah.
You didn't throw 100.
No, and but the style and the training is conducive for it. So that's what they're looking for. That's what the players are going to try to build their arm strength to do. And you sacrifice something when you throw 100 and 100, meaning it's hard to have that velocity and location. They're not really concerned about location. They want to mix and match in that box and let that velocity win out. Threw one pitch at 100 and it went 457 feet. Vinny Castilla.
Here is a jam shot for a base hit into left. Seager on base, first hit, but on for the 3rd time tonight. A walk, and he's been hit by a pitch. With Justin Turner coming up, our StatCast powered by Google Cloud, and these are Justin Turner's 11 career postseason home runs, tying the great Duke Snider, and they are all to the left of center. Seager's right there behind, and mentioned this stat a couple times and haven't said the name or hello to through the television to our buddy Steve Garvey, who is watching. I guarantee that's ball one inside to Turner.
Well, there's been a lot of players on this roster and both rosters that have turned their careers around for one reason or another, and you would never not know that Turner wasn't always the hitter he is right now in the last 6 years for the Dodgers. But that wasn't the case. Released by the Mets, came over to here, and he's reinvented himself. And you just mentioned some of the records that he'll be forever linked with the Dodgers. And this field and this game between these two teams have a lot of players whose journey has been changed and changed for the better in their career.
1 ball, 2 strikes as McClanahan is just bringing heat. Kenley Jansen getting set to work an inning. It's been a while for him in a ball game. So both managers getting to use pieces that have had some time off.
2-2.
Tsutsugo hitting in this ball game. He gets Perez behind the plate. He's used Sheriff tonight. Now McClanahan. Two.
I think about, the Rays get a lot of credit, and rightfully so. We've documented all that they do and how they're successful. But you're talking about Max Muncy coming over here, totally changing his swing and just his focus. His career was going in the wrong way and had a couple monster years for the Dodgers. Taylor revamping his swing. You just don't always see guys making wholesale changes and turning their career in the positive way when it doesn't look like there's much hope left.
Another 2-2. Another foul ball. We said it the other night. I mean, it's a template that Andrew Friedman put in with the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's the same template with the Dodgers. It's just that they have the ability to unload financially when it makes sense, as they did in the 12-year deal they just signed with Mookie Betts. But they find players that are cast-offs from other organizations, and they get better. Full count now.
Dodgers took a catcher and made him their closer.
He's out there now, getting loose. In the air to center, back to grab it. Kiermaier back to first. Seager one away in the 9th. And right now, a quick word from MasterCard. Here's Muncy. Big night for Max. A single after the home run in the first inning by Turner. Then a 2-out 2-run single in the 3rd. A walk in the 5th. Struck out in the 7th.
Ball's up.
And that's upstairs for ball 1 to Muncy. And Muncy deserves a lot of credit too. It's not just the Dodgers. He was
correct.
Sent away from the A's organization. Went to work. Revamped his swing. But the Dodgers were the team that signed him, and here he is hitting cleanup yet again in another postseason. 1 ball, 1 strike from McClanahan.
Yeah, this year hasn't turned in the way the previous years were going, meaning he's running into some bad luck, and there's some science behind that as far as, you can hit some balls right at people to shift and all that. But boy, there for a period of time, if he threw a pitch in that inner half,
Ball's inside.
You weren't getting it back. Big power numbers, and then we've talked about all series, and nobody has been able to get on base via the walk any better than him.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch from this talented left-hander. That is a strike. But so far, John, this has been an intimidating game by the Dodgers if you're Tampa Bay. Not to say they're going to leave here in fear, but they showed why they won so many games this year. Power pitching, home runs, timely hitting, speed, defense. Bullpen is set up to back up Urias in game 4 tomorrow.
That's outside.
And they just have a lot more options because of their depth. But the formula for the Rays didn't start out great. And with the Dodgers being the visiting team, they can actually put some pressure on the Rays formula, because when the Rays score first and they have the lead early, they usually go on to win. And the Dodgers jumped on them early and had a nice lead to where Dave Roberts could utilize his pen.
But that's the beauty of the Rays. As you said, they're deep, they're resourceful. They'll come at it tomorrow, and Well, they do it by a different formula than most, both with their front office and with their in-game management, but they win. Had just 3 fewer wins than the Dodgers had during the regular season. Here's a pop-up. High in the air to left. Arozarena is going to take it. Tom Verducci, pretty good setup here going forward for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and I think Dave Roberts knew that in game 2. He held back Julio Urias, making sure he could pitch the next game on full rest. So think about these 3 middle games, guys, with Buehler, Urias, and Kershaw. They're 3 of the top 5 pitchers this postseason in swing and miss rate. And we know the Rays, that's their bugaboo. They led the major leagues in strikeouts this year. Certainly was in play tonight with the stuff the Dodgers, especially Buehler, showed Tampa Bay.
No doubt about it. Here is a smash into right center field, but just getting under it is Will Smith, and that will send game 3 into the bottom of the 9th. McClanahan takes his rosin bag and exits. The Dodgers have led from the start, trying to go up in this World Series 6-1 after 8.5. Dodgers and Rays coverage starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Mr. Kenley Jansen takes over after the bullpen has been perfect. And Jansen trying to pick up where he left off against the Atlanta Braves in that NLCS, where he seemed to get his mechanics back, his release point back, and that cutter started cutting again.
Big guy, long delivery, long arm, and then that. Usually, you know, with Kenley, it's not so much the velocity, even though that's what everyone's going to point to because his velocity's gone down. It's the late break to that cutter.
That is as good as you can do it. 3 pitches, a strikeout of Austin Meadows, 1 for 4 tonight, 1 away.
Because what you don't want is you don't want the cutter to go down. You want it to go lateral. And there's the cutter lateral. Then he goes inside. And then he just throws cheese away. That's not the cutter. That's a fastball up and away.
Batter now is Lau. Brandon 0 for 3. Man, I mean, look, this is a different Dodger bullpen now if he's doing this.
No doubt.
It changes everything for Dave Roberts. They came in not knowing how they were going to get the last 3 outs. And you know better than anybody else. Outs number 25, number 26, and number 27 in a ball game are a lot different than any other, especially in a World Series.
Absolutely. And credit him and the Dodgers and the patience of Kenley, just not getting too upset or pouting or anything when it looked like it was really going to be a tough situation to get him in many games. He's persevered. He's mechanically made the adjustments.
High fly ball into right. And the Dodgers all-time save leader, regular and post, is 1 out away from ending this ball game. And we'll give you a quick word from T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage.
1 in 5 U.S. kids may not be able to afford to play next season. Together, we can help little leaguers in your community. Grab your phone and text, and T-Mobile will donate.
Well, we need to start talking, John, about Randy Arozarena. 0 for 3 tonight, a pair of strikeouts. 1 for 9 in this World Series, and it seems like the Dodgers have found a formula against this incredible young talent.
Yeah, you know, when a guy's hot and when he's hitting as many homers as he has, he controlled the strike zone in the previous series. And I mentioned he didn't get any hits with runners in scoring position, which is incredible given his average and the power he displayed.
That's outside.
But he started tracking balls in that Houston series and, of course, the series before that. And all it takes sometimes, a day off or a different approach, and you get off your game a little bit. It's very difficult to go throughout the postseason at the rate he was going.
Well, he's set up here. You know what he's thinking, Arozarena. That swing is something. Fouls it back. Quick bat, great hands, a ton of power, and he just lets it fly and is not pull happy.
No, that's the key. That's why he's had so much success, especially on fastballs in the zone.
Good pitch by Jansen. 2-2. Wow. They talked about the inconsistent velocity for Jansen coming into the NLCS. He's had terrific velocity. This is the best we've seen him. 2-2 is down. Full count.
Yeah, the rest and everything so far has shown itself to be pretty good. That's the first one he overthrew.
Rosarena trying to keep it going for G-Man Choi on deck. Jansen wants to end game 3 with the next pitch. That is hammered down the line, and Rosarena goes deep. And that ties a record, his 8th home run of this postseason. Right down the line, and Rosarena just crunched it. It's 6-2. Tampa Bay would love to get him hot again. This was smoked.
Yeah, he got the cutter, stayed in the middle, and you talk about his quick hands. Wow, those were quick.
He dealt with positive tests for COVID for a month. A lot of things happened right there, by the way. He tied the major league record for home runs in a postseason with 8. He adds to the rookie record, and he's got the rookie hits record in a postseason, as he's got 23 hits, one more than Jeter had back in '96. The incredible October of Randy Arozarena continues. 6-2 ball game. Saying he dealt with positive COVID tests for a month. He was away from the team, and in order to stay strong as he could be, because he lost a bunch of weight when he dealt with the symptoms. Here's one into left. That ends the ball game, a final of 6-2. And we get to finish the Arozarena story tomorrow night.
Yes, we do. Tune in, everybody.
6-2 ball game. Dodgers were in charge from the beginning. They got a home run from Turner in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, another run in the 6th, and it's a 6-2 victory for the Dodgers, who are now up 2-1 in this 2020 World Series. Buehler gets the win. He struck out 10 in 6 innings. Charlie Morton gets the loss. He's now 7-3 in his career in the postseason, and 3-1 this postseason alone. 3-hour, 14-minute ball game.